I want to talk about the latest attack against Australia Day. It's only October, but the miserable moaners are already gearing up for another Australia Day bashing extravaganza. For years, we've listened to the shrill self-loathers in the media, academia, government bodies, along with singers, actors, sports stars, TV presenters and the activist class tell us our national holiday is a shameful celebration of oppression, genocide and Western imperialism. We've been told that we should be ashamed of our country's past and present, and that any observance of Invasion Day is a divisive and painful expression of white privilege. And yet, despite this unrelenting negativity, the overwhelming majority of Australians remain hugely supportive of Australia Day and want it to remain on January 26. The Invasion Day Brigade may dominate the narrative and receive disproportionate and largely uncritical coverage from their like-minded media mates, but they have failed to turn Australians against our National Day. Polls in recent years show support for Australia Day is strong and unwavering. Even a poll commissioned by leftist publication The Guardian, but carried out by a reputable polling company, found that only 6% of Australians feel negatively towards Australia Day. But they're the 6% whose views dominate the narrative every single year. We've seen a number of left-wing councils around the country trashing the day, with one councillor from the city of Moreland comparing Australia Day to the Holocaust. And yesterday, we learned that yet another inner-city council, the city of Port Phillip, will hold a morning of mourning ceremony on Australia Day before holding celebrations. Talk about wanting to have your cake and eat it too. Mayor Dick Ross said the morning of mourning was going to be and I quote, a very solemn ceremony acknowledging that some terrible things have happened in the early history and probably the current history of Australia. As a long-suffering city of Port Phillip ratepayer, I have one message to the council. Do your jobs, you pack of clowns. Local government is about the 3 R's of roads, rates and rubbish. It is not an avenue for frustrated activists to push their pet agendas. Too many councillors prefer to grandstand on national and international issues rather than focus on the job at hand. If local government issues bore you, then make a run for state or federal parliament. Stop trying to distort Australia Day to fit your warped view of the country. The left's oppressor and oppressed narratives that cast Indigenous Australians as perpetual victims and the rest of us as land-stealing invaders is divisive and destructive. Australia Day isn't a celebration of genocide. It's a time for all Australians, all of us, to reflect and celebrate our place in the world and what it means to be Australian. Of course, like every country, we've had shameful periods in our past, but that doesn't define who we are. Most of us realise how terrifically lucky we are to live in this coveted corner of the world.